Hello everyone, this is Jade. In this video, I'm going to be running through the new Organization 13 event, which is Xigbar for the month of February, so let's get started. Alright, so this first one was a weird one. I didn't know what to expect. But when I got in here, yep, I saw all of these portals and I just mindlessly started jumping into them. It really did set the tone for the rest of this series though. I wandered around in here aimlessly. I wasn't quite sure what to do, but when I finally caught a glimpse of the target down there, that was when it clicked. I was like, oh, okay, I need to find the portal or the sequence of portals that will get me to the target. And so the rest of this is just me trying to figure out that sequence. So I'm cutting to my successful run, which was my second run here. So if you want to just mimic what I did, that first portal I think was a mistake, but I still managed to finish with enough time here. So the key thing was to get to that portal that was in the center that kind of went towards that back room and then go upward into the portal that was going towards I guess the overpass, which was usually the overpass, which is the portal that gets you to the target enemy, and you should have no problems getting the 60-second objective. So this second one was a very straightforward one, but as you can see here, I was wondering if there was something else, so I kind of ran off screen to see if there was something else. But basically, there will only be one portal. You jump into the portal, it's going to drop you into a mob, and it just initiates the fight for you. So you just want to get through this as quickly as possible. The enemies here are not too strong, level 50, so if you've been playing this game for a while, you shouldn't have any issues with just bashing, swiping, tapping. I don't think you even need to use any of your specials here, because the animations do usually take time, and that's going to shave off some of the time that you have, and the clock is ticking against you. So as you can see there, it was pretty straightforward. Jump into the portal, get rid of the mob, and eventually you'll get to the target. Okay, so this third one had me a little confused. I saw the one portal, I hopped into it, I saw an enemy, I decided to just, go for it. And then I saw a bunch of them. So that's when I kind of let my gut feeling just kind of lead me. I decided to just follow the target arrow. So there I hopped into that portal, but the target arrow wasn't specifically pointing to one portal there, so that's how I knew to just kind of weave around them, and that was where the target was. So I'm very happy that I was able to get through this the first time, even though I was kind of muddling my way through it. So there it is, and we got all our objectives. Alright, stage 4. This one, again, I just went for the target arrow. So the target arrow was pointing towards this one. Go for the mob. Finish it. So that's basically what this stage is all about. It's there's going to be another stage that's very similar to these, so they just kind of repeat the same models for, I guess, like 2 or more of the stages. So these enemies were not too high level, so I was able to mostly tap for some of them. Some of them I was getting a little worried that their defense was a little high, so I did use Pete for that, but as you can see, you can very quickly just get to the target enemy here, and yeah, I basically swipe, dash, tap my way through that one. Alright, stage number 5. Now for this one, I was actually very lucky. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of going into whatever portal, and yeah, so I thought this was going to be the run where I just kind of spend minutes and minutes and seconds just trying to get to where I need to go. But I think eventually, yeah, right there, I just randomly got there, and I made it just in the nick of time. Like, just. I think 25 seconds was the objective. That was 24 seconds and like 80th of a second. So, very fortunate there. It wasn't going to be one of those stages that caused me endless amounts of frustration. Okay, quest number 6. This one is another pretty straightforward one. One portal each time. You just go through the portal, which directly drops you onto the mob that you're supposed to engage. So yeah, just try and get through it as quickly as you can. Swipe, tap, maybe use your specials. I do believe here some of the enemies are a little bit stronger. They have a bit more HP, so I had to use my aerial just to generally buff up the medals so that each swipe and tap was doing a little bit more. And sometimes, as you see here, I do use the special. But even if you do use the special, if you're not using a lot of them, and if they don't generally have a very long animation, you should be able to get through this quest with a very comfortable time. I think it was 75 seconds for the shortest objective, and I did it under 50. Of course, I did use the Nova there because it's up to the point where I feel like time is always against me, so whenever I can just use my Nova to finish it off, I'll do that. Alright, quest number 7, I believe this is. So for this one, I swiped here but their defense was higher than I expected, so I had to go a second turn. It was a good thing that there was no objective that needed one turning anything. It was just all, you know, timed whatever. So I was not expecting just a whole slew of enemies that you can't skip. So it's very similar to the last stage in that it's just rushing through each of the mobs very, very quickly. But these armored archers do have quite a bit of defense, so I do have to buff or use Pete just to take them down. The specials will usually do more. Actually, not usually. They always do more than a standard tap or swipe. So, and then here I use my Nova once again. And there we go. Okay, quest number 8. This is another one of those follow the direction of the target arrow. So whichever portal the target arrow is pointing towards, I would just go towards that. Yeah. So these enemies are quite hard now. You probably will need to use your specials here. Definitely buff, especially for this copter fleet. I think I just go all out here. But some of the other ones I was still able to swipe and tap, so... And I didn't want to use Jack and Sally because that medal's animation was really, really long. It was a good thing that Roxas was able to finish it off. And... is this a Mega Shadow? Or a Giga... No, it's not a Giga Shadow. It's not big enough. I think it's a Mega Shadow. But with Ariel and Flounder's buff and Classic Donald, Classic Donald actually hits quite hard. And I use my Nova here, and that was able to save me some time, which was good. 1 minute and 4 seconds, almost 5. Can't remember what was the, oh, 80 seconds, okay. So there was still a lot of time left. I guess I could have used some of the Jack and Sally, but that's okay. Alright, quest number 9. This one took a long time. As you can see here, at the very beginning, I just kept running straight into the same portal over and over again until there. So I was stuck here for a bit, and then I decided to start figuring things out. I even had to bust out the paper and pencil and, you know, just kind of write down where each portal kind of led. So I'm gonna just jump to my to my successful run here, which was after. So I was actually hanging out around here for about 7 or 8 minutes. Alright, so cutting to the successful run, which was the run after my whole 8-minute discovery. You want to go there, and then you want to come to this portal. One at the very bottom. Once you reach the plants, you want to move all the way down to this portal right here, and that is what's going to take you to the plant. 8 minutes of work. I'm sure there are others out there that was able to find this out in less than 8 minutes, but 23 seconds is the time, and they give you 75, so that's not bad. And this, we're able to get Xigbar's hairstyle! Okay, so moving right along, this is another one that's very straightforward. One portal, jump into it, throws you into the mob of Heartless that you're supposed to defeat. These enemies are rather difficult though. They're level 220. As you can see here, this airplane does have 2 general defense up, so you will have to use your specials sometimes, unless you have really amazing medals that just does a lot of damage right off the shelf. The bees do get the first hit for this one. I made the mistake of just swiping thinking I had enough damage, so I had to take a second turn there. And again, constantly I'm looking at the clock, but very fortunate that the target is here. So as you can see there, I was just mashing my Nova button and the Nova did not finish it off. But I was actually worried that I had to do this under a minute. So I was constantly looking at the time. But I think when I looked at the objectives, yeah, it was 80 seconds. So I still had quite some room there. But I'm very glad that's over. Okay, moving right along, quest number 11. This one, again, it took me about 8 minutes to kind of maneuver around and find out where not each of the portals, but I kind of had a semi-systematic way of how I was doing it. You definitely couldn't see it right there. But you do have to maneuver out of these portals. And the best method, I would say, is instead of kind of swiping and dragging, just tap to the spots where you want your character to move. I found that was the most accurate way to consistently get out of the portals right here in the spiral region. So I'm just gonna cut over to the run after this. Alright, so here we go. We want to get out of the spiral, so again, just tap where you want your character to go. You do have some time, so just be careful and just get out of there. Now, I think that was the wrong portal. Yeah, so you can see I was getting a little anxious. So once again, best tip is tap to where you want your character to move to, but also just try to take your time. So you want that portal right there, which is what will take you to the target. So I think for this particular quest, the time-consuming part is just taking your time to make your way out of the spiral, because getting to the right portal after that is pretty easy once you know which one it is. And the target is not that hard at all. So they do give you 85 seconds. I think I was well within that time there. Okay, here we go. Second last quest, quest number 12. So again, just follow the target arrow and just take down the Heartless that's guarding the portal. They are quite strong at this point, so don't hold anything back. For me, again, I still didn't quite want to use specials because of the animation. I always feel like animations would take up more time than swiping or tapping, but with how strong the enemies were, I really didn't have a choice. I had to use the specials for certain ones. Now this one was actually... The copter fleet is a power type, and I have all my speed medals here, so I was not doing a lot of damage to it. I was quite worried. I don't have a lot of World of Final Fantasy medals, but if I did have a full Keyblade of them, that would have been good. So thank goodness for this Sephiroth here, or else I think I probably would have died. Now I should have used my aerial before I used my Nova there, but I was just looking at the clock and I was like, please, 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 go, go, go! But, yeah. Now that I watched the video again, I'm thinking, Jade, you should have used that aerial right there. But yeah, I felt like this added more time to it, and it was 100 seconds for the objectives, for this one. 1 minute and 38, almost 39 seconds, so it was very, very close. But I'm glad I was able to get through that in one go. I didn't have to run it again, so that's good. So moving on to the next one. Alright, so last stage. This was a bit of a nightmare. Again, I wasn't sure how long I was gonna be here. It wasn't 8 minutes again, but I did die many, many times because, and I'm actually gonna let this video just run through. So you can just see here that I'm trying out different things, just going into portals and seeing where it goes. And then I saw the black copter fleet, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to be there. But of course, I end up there. And so as you can see, this ring of portals, wherever you go, usually it would just drop you into that mass of death in the center. And it is going to kill you. So I did run this, I believe maybe 5 or 6 times, just trying to figure it out. And each of those 5 or 6 times just ended with me landing in the center and just getting taken out by the copter fleet. So we're jumping to the successful run. So that was the first portal, and I think this wasn't a perfect run here because I was getting a little bit confused, but I knew I had to get down to the bottom. So you do want to get in here because the portal to the target was right there. But you want to get to a point where you're not running into a portal where it's dropping you right to the center. You need to be off to the side, and specifically to the left side, so that you can get to the portal that leads you to the target. Now, I did run this a second time, just to see if I can get a more efficient route. So let's go and take a look at that. So top left, and you can actually sneak through to come to the bottom, and it will take you to here. And then from here, you want to go bottom left, so that puts you inside, and then you want that bottom, almost like 2 from the center portal, which will take you to the target. So hopefully this video helps you. This was kind of fun, I would say. Some of the portals, like just the amount of time that I had to take just kind of going through each of the portals over and over again, it did take quite a bit of time. But all in all, it was less difficult than the last Organization 13 event. And so here I'm just taking a look at the medals that I got. There's all 7 of them. I will be saving it for a guilting campaign. So there's Xigbar B. Ultimate shot. And there's how it looks like as a 6-star. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. This is Jade. I will talk to you next time. Bye!